Oh, we're live? Shoot, I wasn't. Okay, you caught me unawares, despite giving me ample warning. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Roll D5, our special episode of Roll D Talks. Today we have Andie, aka Margamots Games, and Queon. Um, let's quickly do some introductions. Hi, I'm Mika. I do things. I am the co-creator of Roll D5. You can catch me mostly here, other places. I'll talk about that at the end of the stream. Queon, go ahead. Brief introduction.
Me first? Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Queon. I go by Brother Queon across all of the internets. That is BRUTHAQUEON. I am a TTRPG mercenary for hire, and I just love talking about games and having fun. So I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you.
Thank you.
Andie.
I'm Andie Mardulski. I go by Margamots Games online. I am an oceanographer and climate science by
No, you froze.
hopefully eventually also. Oh no!
You've been going so well this whole time.
Keep I'm an oceanographer.
Yeah, so I'm an oceanographer by day and a TTRPG writer by night. Hopefully, at some point, I will also be a TTRPG writer by day. That's sort of the goal. And I guess I'm here to talk about my ongoing Kickstarter, which is Murders at Lorelahc Manor.
Yeah,
which
we
I'm
are.
sure we'll talk a lot about now.
Yeah, we are. Yes, we've got Lorelahc Manor. We've got Queon here. Queon and I have both played the first mystery, Out of Time. And we also had Janelle on here last time talking about another group that them and Johnny have formed for writing a few things too. I don't know, just first off, basic overview of murders.
Yeah, well, so first off, I guess I should say, yes, I am working with Janelle and Johnny on Kindle Obscura Adventures. And we have our first one-shot out already, and our other one is also on Kickstarter now. So if you're interested in that, check out Three Cold Publishing. Look for the Candelonomicon on Kickstarter, and you'll find it. But Murders at Lorelahc Manor is a 5e murder mystery campaign. It has 2 murder mysteries in it. The first one is a prologue, sort of murder mystery meets escape room one-shot. And I mean, everybody here has played it, but I don't know how spoilery we want to be. But I'll say that there is a time travel twist. And the second murder mystery is a sprawling mystery at a masquerade, where there are multiple tiers of villains, and you uncover sort of a bigger and bigger plot as you go. And I guess my brief pitch for it is, one of my favorite things about the mysteries is that you can solve it either by talking to everybody or by talking to nobody. You can just sort of explore the manor, find stuff, poke around, do things, attend to the events, and like interrogate no NPCs. Or you can sort of go full on detective and talk to people and schmooze your way through. It's really sort of up to you how you want to do it.
One of my favorite things about this, like having run it twice as a GM, played it once as a player, is investigation. In a lot of D&D stuff, if you don't hit like the 15 investigation, you get nothing. Both Lorelahc, you've done this beautiful thing where there's a table, and no matter what you roll, you get something. You get some kind of information.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it statistically, right? If you set a DC on important clues, even if you have 3 clues pointing to the same like conclusion or deduction you want people to make, if there's a chance of failure on all 3 of them, then some group somewhere is gonna fail. And if your mystery relies on that deduction, then you have to have given it to them in some other way, or you've written a mystery that breaks, right? You have a choke point that you have designed yourself into. So yeah, the discovery tables where like on a 0 to 5, you get something. It's with the intent that like, well, your eyes are still open and you're poking around a room, so you're gonna find something. You just might not find like the most clever things, right? Like maybe you didn't turn over that book and find like the bloody handprint or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Queon, as a player, like what were some of your favorite takeaways from playing from these different parts. From because I remember in your group, you played a few different like there was some interrogating of people, there was some looking around, some just going for it.
Yeah, we kind of did a mixture of all of it. But I think going kind of basically what you had just said, Mika, my favorite thing about it is the simple fact that it's not just if you roll bad, you still have the opportunity of seeing something. And I think that's where a lot of games and modules miss out on, because it's like, yes, it's a lot of yes ands and not many no but or no ands. And I really enjoyed having the option of like, we could fight everything and just kill everybody, or if we just wanted to look around and schmooze our way through everything we could. I think I chose the violence route, but it was just for fun.
I was kind of thrown out by like the combination that y'all did. Like when you actually started interrogating someone, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I need to like quickly go over, because I mean, like, you prep for a game, but you never know what the players are going to do, and so I'm like, okay, now I have to like very quickly like dive back into this little part for their alibis, what they think about everyone else. Like, oh, okay. It's also very convenient that like everything was listed right there, just what they think, what each individual person thinks of everyone else.
That goes back to the
so just to give a little bit of a primer of what's like in the book, each NPC has like background and description and personality and so on. And then they have a box for stuff when you're talking to them, which includes like their testimony, their secret, and who they think did it and why, so that there are always like, you know, people to blame. Like, hey, I think this person did it because I saw them with an, you know, having an argument, which is in itself a clue, right? So you always sort of make progress on the mystery and understanding things, even just by what people say. And all of that is there for you in the book if you want to use it.
Oh God, I had a question. I just forgot it. It had to do with. No, I lost it.
We might be able to help it and get it back later, though.
Yeah, hopefully. So there was a controversial choice here where you did not include a kernel mustard or a candlestick as potential interactive things in this game. What was the decision behind that?
Well, I think that anybody can bring a candlestick to a game if they want to, so I'm just leaving the door open, you know?
Okay.
Kernel mustard, I'm just categorically opposed to because we have enough old white men in games, and
he's kind of
I don't like mustard, so...
Yeah.
I mean, staying away from the spoiler territory, the murderee was kind of an old, not white man, but might as well been.
Yeah,
he was a little goblin dude. He's like a wannabe romancer. He wants to travel back in time.
That just screams, everything about it screams old white man. Like, let's...
Trying to change
again, he died, so, you know.
It's like Back to the Future.
Yeah, so, I mean, so his name is Professor Fidbark, as you guys know. He is sort of the smartest kind of idiot, right? Because, like, I mean, his fatal flaw is ignoring the people around him and, like, pining for the past and wanting to travel back in time to, like, recover what he felt like he had lost. And, like, the tragedy is, like, none of this would have happened if he just was a little bit more present, which is very much like a story of my own life, like trying to be more present in, like, my day-to-day, think less about the future, think less about the past, and just, like, try to focus on the people around me. Delivered in a very goofy way because he's like a dumbass chronomancer goblin. Yeah.
Goblin. Who did you get to do all of the art? Because that's another standout part of this that I was able, like, thank you for having the Roll20 map set and stuff, because I was able to share that artwork with the players, and I know they all enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, the art was fantastic.
Yeah, her name is Chelsea Crane. She's Silver Steampunk online. I just put the link in the chat. She's incredibly talented. She did all of the art. She did all the characters. She did all the maps. She did the cover. Yeah, I'm continuously impressed by what she can do because it kind of seems like she can do everything. Yeah, I feel very spoiled to get to work with her.
So 5e is kind of what's the best way to phrase this? Like it's kind of the go-to, I guess, if you want to get into TTRPG writing, because D&D is so ubiquitous in everything. So what made you also step into writing for Candela, which is it's still popular, comes from a popular group, but it is fairly new as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, so I got into 5e because of the like Balanced podcast from the Adventure Zone. So the sort of like special blend of like goofy and heartfelt really resonated with me. And I started writing for Candela because, well, frankly, Johnny approached me, was like, hey, if I wanted to write adventures, what do I have to do? And I was like, oh Johnny, there's a lot you have to do. It's not the same thing as like running your own game. So sort of helped him do that, made it a reality, and discovered that writing for Candela is a very different thing because so there's overlap, right? Candela is very much focused on mysteries and mystery adventures, and so there's still, you know, a single-minded obsession with thinking about the clues that people need, what reveals happen when, and like how you can support player agency while still making sure that they learn the things that they need. Yeah. Like those are shared across the two. But for Candela, you don't need stat blocks. You don't need to like define skill roles. There's just a lot left sort of to the imagination or left to the GM to decide. And that was really appealing because I wanted to see what a more like fiction first system would feel like to write for. And I gotta say, I like it. It's really fun. It's fun to write something sort of spooky, especially with Johnny and now Janelle, terrifying things I would have never thought of. I sort of imagine myself in that group as like the rails to like a product, and they're the ones who are filling the train cars with monsters.
Oh, nice. Yeah, famously, I know in the 30s between World Wars I and II that taking monsters on trains across nation was a very common practice.
I can't even pretend I understand what you're saying.
I'm just being dumb because you mentioned the rain. Because you mentioned that like they're putting the monsters in the train and you're the track. So I'm speaking of, if you were a werewolf, would you tell me, either of you?
So I've been thinking about this, and I want to hear what they have to say first.
Wow, that's lovely, because I too have been thinking about this. I don't particularly think I would tell many people. So no, I don't think I would. Just to keep my pack safe.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like I barely know you. I've known you for a month.
Right.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like I might not even tell my best friend. That's because I think she would be a vampire by that time, and then we'd be mortal enemies. That's a whole nother can of worms.
Oh, no. Yeah. You don't want to deal with that.
Mm-mm. So what you got, Andie?
Well, so my answer is too serious, which is why I wanted you to go first. Because, so what I was thinking was, so I only started transitioning in, like, after my PhD, which was, like 3 years ago? 2.5? And I wish I had started transitioning sooner and felt more comfortable telling people that I was trans. And so I think I would bring that energy to being like, hey, fuck you, I'm a werewolf. And guess what? It's really cool because I get superpowers when the moon comes out.
See, now that you've said that, a part of me wants to change my answer, because being in the closet sucks. And I think carrying around the weight of being a werewolf, I feel like I would rather everybody know and deal with the repercussions of that.
Just for the sake of confusing you and playing devil's advocate also to myself. On the other hand,
Devil doesn't need an
are
advocate.
monsters, you know?
My first thought of like the being in the closet, which I thought would be really funny to hear someone say. So I went to a Mormon school, not BYU. I went to Southern Virginia University, which is essentially BYU Virginia. And one time, my junior year, my RA compared being gay to drunk driving. Yeah, thank you. I don't remember the full Justin's face. I don't know if y'all could see that too. And then I didn't talk to him for a few days. I remember him asking, like, Mika, are you mad at me? I'm like, yes, I'm mad at you because you said something stupid and offensive. But now I'm trying to imagine him saying, like, yeah, being a werewolf is like drunk driving.
So being a werewolf is a little bit closer, I think, to drunk driving than being gay is, you know? It's like, I guess I don't know.
When you turn, it's like being inebriated. When you transform, if you don't have control over what's going on.
Also, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I don't know how much control you maintain while you're like full wolf form, you know? I don't know. I don't know the biomechanics of werewolves. I gotta say. I
think there's a lot that goes into this. Like, what kind of world are we in? Like, would it be dangerous for me to tell people?
That was the next question. So it's like, where are we at? What are we doing? Who's involved here? Are there werewolf hunters? If there's hunters, I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Like, there's actually recently read a gay werewolf romance book, which I didn't realize was a thing. This started as a joke with my last boss and one of my coworkers. Like, Mika, you should be the foremost scholar in gay werewolf literature. I'm like, I don't know if that's a thing, but okay. And there is. There's a series, and in one of them, werewolves are still hidden, but there's a special section of the FBI that works with the werewolves and their thing to help solve werewolf crime between werewolves and people. It's also a little steamy. But in that world, still would not tell anyone because werewolves are a secret. So,
you said this was a queer book as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. After the stream, go ahead and drop me that info.
Oh, I will. Yeah.
But you did mention just now that the even in the werewolf fantasy, there's like mysteries and everything, right? I had a question for Andie in regards to don't hide. How do you write a good mystery, especially if you know that you're going to be making it for nosy players who might figure stuff out a little bit sooner than you would have hoped? How do you work with that when writing the mystery portion of everything?
So my advice depends a little bit on what kind of mystery you're writing. So Murders at Lorelahc Manor is obviously a murder mystery, so you want to focus on the murder. And I can talk more about that, or I can talk about mysteries more generally. Like, what do you want from this answer? Because I will go anywhere you want.
I'm a little nosy because I'm about to run a mystery, and I already know one of my players is going to try and break it in day one. So I want to not break it and make them look for everything and actually work for it.
So there are a couple things that you want to do, or that you can do. One is you can make it impossible to find all of the information in one place to solve it, right? So like maybe the clue that they need to find out who the murderer really is or whatever is actually in a different building, right? Like they can't get it in the place that they're in, they can get other clues, right? Like you can think about it that way. Like you can physically remove stuff that they need to like put the pieces together. The like more broad advice I would give is like let players figure stuff out. Like give them things to find out and give them secrets to find that are either directly related to the mystery or are not, so that they're always like pulling threads and learning stuff. Like, so in Lorelahc Manor, I don't know if you noticed this as a player, but everybody has something that they're hiding. So it's always unclear who you want a zone of truth because you don't know if their secret is the secret you want, or if it's like ultimately not unrelated, but like not actually what you're looking for, right? So like spell slots are precious. So it's kind of like combat where you want people to use their resources in a way that like furthers the narrative and makes it so that like it's satisfying.
I want you to know one thing though. I picked a paladin and chose Zone of Truth specifically to use it, right? However, there were too many suspects. Everybody was scheming on something, and I'm just like, I don't know if it's the maid I want to go talk to, or if it's the butler, or it's the random dude stirring a pot in the kitchen. I don't know. But I think that was something that was amazing at playing. So it kind of kept me on my toes because everybody I suspected at the beginning.
Yeah, so there are a couple of like quote unquote problem spells, which aren't problem spells in my opinion. They're just things that make it fun to find stuff out. So like detect thoughts, zone of truth, speak with dead, all those sort of divination spells. Like one way around detect thoughts is the person that they're detecting thoughts on doesn't know everything, right? Zone of truth, you don't have to speak in it. So if you have a secret and you don't want to like succumb to people casting magic on you, which is very invasive, you might just be like, hey, screw you, I want my bodily autonomy, how dare you do this to me, I'm not going to cooperate. Like there's sort of a lot of different ways that you can take it. That particular style where you're saying like I'm not going to say anything is more of a closing door than saying like let's give them something but not everything, right? So I would always try to encourage you to think of like what clues can you give that don't immediately break the whole thing open. Ask more questions if you have more specific questions, like how do I deal with X spell, or like I want to hide this thing. Yeah.
So thank you for that.
I would tell you in Lorelahc, so if you had Zone of Truth, the sort of earliest available quote unquote villain, you would have learned that it doesn't work on him because he was a construct.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's annoying.
And that but actually that in and of itself is a clue, right? Because you know something's up with him. So like if you destroyed that construct, he'd be gone. And when he reappears later, like in his real body, you'd be like, oh shit. Okay, he is really like the bad guy. Right?
Just when I say like that's annoying, I love that. That is just me saying like, oh, if I would have actually done it, it would have exploded everything I was trying to do. That's one thing that I love that you guys did creating it, is because it makes the player think. I had to think about what I was going to use my spell slots for throughout the entire thing. I can't just burn Zone of Truth here because I think this one person is. I need more evidence before I can just jump down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So that was great.
So Lorelahc was a SKU separate from the other.
Yeah. So okay. I wrote Murders at Lorelahc Manor myself. There was some small amount of writing early on in the process by another freelance writer. But I wrote it, I put together the Kickstarter, I did everything except for the art. So I did the layout, I did I did everything. Yeah.
Just hypothetically, if somebody wanted to start this process, how long did it take you to do all of that?
There are a lot of things to learn, frankly. Like I'm a perfectionist, right? So I started writing this book, I don't know, 7 months ago, maybe. I would be faster at it now, for sure. And before that, I had written 2 other projects on DM's Guild. So the advice that I would give to anybody starting adventure writing or anything like this is find a way to make the work easier. So I started on DM's Guild writing expansions to existing Wizards of the Coast modules. So I started with Sunless Citadel and Forge of Fury, which are old school official modules which people love. And the reason I did that is because then they have like a mega dungeon, so I don't have to worry about making a dungeon. They have all the like factions and stuff there, so I don't have to from whole cloth make all the characters. You can just fill in holes and like add on a small piece to an existing thing, and that's a lot easier to do than like starting whole hog with like, I'm gonna make a world, or I'm gonna do like a whole murder mystery, whatever. And so I would say like start small, and you will quickly realize that there are a lot of things that you don't know how to do, like layout, which is like a really important skill to like making sure that your stuff is readable to people. Like it took me a long time to, and this feels silly in retrospect, but it took me a long time to learn, for instance, that like, you know, the relative sizes of different fonts matter, right? You want to like have a visual hierarchy for like the titles and subtitles and the body text, and you want to make sure that like everything that somebody needs to run like an individual area in a dungeon is all on one page and doesn't spill off to the next one or whatever, right? Like all those little things just make it a lot easier to read and like know where to look. So I would say like there's a lot to learn, but also you're never going to get it right all 100%. So like just do it and try to choose something small, and it'll get bigger before you know it.
Nice.
I might come to you for some writing advice, like Johnny did, actually, because for Triangle Agency, I'm going to start. Still a lot of interest in Triangle Agency. If people haven't seen my threads posted, I've got about 20 people in less than 24 hours who are like, yes, please run this game for me. And so I'm going to start transitioning over to start playing it. But also there's some modules, like since I've done so many different sessions, there are like 2 or 3 that I'd like to write out and put on Drive-Thru RPG. So at some point, as I'm doing that, I'll probably hit you up.
Yeah, I'm happy to help how I can.
Just any and all the advice. Yeah. Yeah, of course, once again, my brain just Queon, is there anything you're working on right now?
I'm working on a couple different things. One of them I can't really talk about yet. However, I will be putting out a casting call very shortly to run a excuse me. It's not a murder mystery, but have you ever played .hack or or watched
Yes.
anime?
Yes.
I will be
obsessed.
I will be running a game based on .hack, and the mystery is figuring out what's going on within the world. So, and I'm very excited to do that, and I can't wait to actually put that casting call out. So, be on the lookout for that, guys. Which is the reason why I'm picking Andie's brain on how to run a good mystery.
So if that's the case, I would say have more than one mystery. So if the question is, what is the secret world, they could find that out and still not know what people are doing in the world or how to get out, or like what the like momentum of the world is, right? Like the future of it, or even the past of it, right? Like there are all these different other questions you can ask where like you lift up the veil and you realize like, oh shit, there's more here.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh, I like that. This makes me want to ask you another question, because there was a twist in Lorelahc Manor that we ran into. How do you write a good twist? Because that one, top tier.
Are you referring to the like murderer's motivation?
Yes.
So
without giving away spoilers, yes.
So what I would say is start with something you think is cool. So I started with time travel because I think time travel is cool. Mm-hmm. And you ask yourself, like, what have people done with time travel? And a lot of the answers are like, well, people go back in time, or they go forward in time, or they split timelines or whatever. And there aren't that many mysteries that deal with the like potential consequences of time travel. And so you just like look for something that is different than what other people are doing. And people will get their expectations all mixed up because they're like, well, I've seen this before, and actually they haven't. Right? So like sort of set people up to expect an outcome and make sure that all of the breadcrumbs are there so that when they look backwards, they're like, oh yeah, I could have known that the whole time, but I didn't see it because I was distracted by my thought process. Like, you don't want to hoodwink players. You don't want to like lead them down the wrong path. You just want to sort of not rule out their guesses, right? Until you're ready.
Yeah, I was trying to red herring them the whole time.
Don't do that. Don't do that. So one of my biggest pieces of advice is you don't need red herrings. TTRPGs are hard enough as it is. Mysteries are hard enough as it is. You don't even need people lying, right? Like in Murders at Lorelahc Manor, you don't have to lie to. In fact, I recommend you don't. You don't have to, and you shouldn't lie to players from the perspective of NPCs, pretty much ever, because you don't need to. People saw what they saw. People are after what they're after, and they might not answer your questions because they're hiding something. But they'll never be like, I saw this thing and actually they didn't, you know? Because that is really hard to keep track of as a player. And you don't want them fixating on details that are false. Because mysteries are already hard.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give them a red herring, but I was like, hey, I'll dangle it out there just to see. But I love the way that you put that. Like, mysteries are hard. And another thing about like lying in general, my grandma always taught me, like, if you lie once, you got to lie again to cover up that lie, and it's a snowball effect, and then you forget that what you're lying about, and then the truth ends up coming out. So being honest to your players from jump is something that I strive for anyway. So it's like, because I'm not gonna remember my lie from 14 sessions ago.
Yeah, I would say if you decide to have an NPC lie to characters, make it easy to discover it was a lie, so that they can negate it quickly.
Cool. Thank you.
Speaking of .hack, have you heard of .dungeon?
No.
It's an indie game that's based off of the world. I've been meaning to play it.
Excuse me as I get the Google.
Yeah.
Dungeon.
On Itch.io?
Yes.
Ooh.
I backed it on Kickstarter. I haven't played it yet, but I'd like to. I haven't really gone through the rulebook either. It's not often that you get a .hack reference in the wild, so that just made me so happy.
Because nobody ever remembers .hack. They always go to a Sword Art Online or maybe
it was
Log Horizon.
It was the original isekai.
Mm-hmm. It was the first one I saw. Well, I think.
Okay, not the original technically, but
Inuyasha was my first isekai that I saw.
It was like the first video game isekai.
Yeah, it was so good. I because I can't find it anywhere on the internet, I bought the DVDs.
Nice. I still haven't beaten the last game of the original 4. I own it, but I haven't beaten it yet. And that was over, this was 15 years ago, so I'm probably not going to. And then also, I'm so mad that I let someone borrow the first one, and I don't think they ever returned it to me. And then they got me a used copy, but it didn't have the anime disc in there. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
No, the completionist in me. Of course, now it doesn't matter. Like, I'm 34. This was back when I was like 17. Does not matter to me anymore. But at the time, I was devastated.
Broken hearts as a kid are not fun.
.hack, my one true love.
It was a good time.
Let's kind of get to a few more silly questions, shall we?
I love them.
What is something you always keep in your pockets? Or you just kind of like very often have with you that's a little unexpected?
Unexpected.
For me, it's this bandana I got. I never have my backpack with me. I carry this bandana with me because I got it at a music festival I went to in like 2014 with a good friend of mine called Life is Beautiful. And so, yeah, it's come in handy. Sometimes I usually push my hair up when it's longer like it is now, and I don't want to use styling cream. Or if you just need a bandana, it's like a little comfort blanket.
Gotcha.
I took it with me to Gen Con, yeah.
I think I know I'm not the only person that does this, but it is a very big superstition that if you keep a $2 bill on you, that it's good luck. So I keep I have two of them. I keep one in my car and one in my wallet at all times. And this is also like me being a little woo-woo and superstitious. I keep a little thing of cinnamon in my car, not cinnamon,
Okay.
a nutmeg. And it's supposed to protect you while you're driving. So no accidents, no car accidents, no speeding tickets. It has saved me my whole life.
Nice.
So this is tricky for me. I think the most likely, I don't even think this is weird, but I usually have like books in my bag on the off chance that I'll end up reading them, even when there's no I will, because it's sort of comforting to have a backup plan.
I like that.
Yeah. Nowadays they're like TTRPG books, so like
Yeah.
they used to be
Yeah.
other stuff. Yeah.
Question about that though. So do you look to other TTRPGs outside of D&D for inspiration when you're writing?
Yeah, so I do. I'm trying to do that more. The thing is, like, there is a lot of inspiration you can get from even just like TV shows and movies for like D&D games. So I don't even limit it just to TTRPGs. I just watch and read the things I want to watch and read, and then think like, how is this the same or different than like in TTRPGs? Because I mean, we've been talking about mysteries a lot, but classically mysteries in a TV show or in a book or a movie or whatever are the detective finds each of the clues they absolutely need one after another when they need them in the same order, because there's no other possibility, because they're being written to solve the mystery, and like that's it, right? Like there are no branching paths, there's nothing else that you have to consider. Like they will discover the thing that they need, and you can still like deconstruct like what makes a mystery interesting for like a murder mystery. It's like at some point they're going to have to discover the body, they're going to have to be like multiple suspects and opportunity to interrogate people, and like ultimately usually some sort of parlor room scene where you like try to force the person you suspect to confess their crimes with all the evidence you've gathered, right? And so like you can look to other media just for like basic structure, or TTRPGs for like how do people gamify that, right? Because like mechanics and rewards in TTRPG systems create emergent gameplay. Like they are the things that happen at the table, right? Like if you reward people for killing stuff, they're going to kill things, you know? Which is why, and this is where Mika sort of started, which is why it's important to reward people all the time for looking around, even if they like roll badly, right? Like you want to encourage that behavior. So like if you put a bomb behind every door, nobody's going to open doors anymore. Mm-hmm. If you put cookies behind every door and a bomb behind the third one, they're going to walk into the bomb and be like, shit, I thought it was a cookie. And they'll be like, on the next one, is it a cookie or is it a bomb? I don't know. I'll open the door carefully, you know? Yeah. And that's ultimately what you want, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
So could you, what have you learned from running a Kickstarter?
I have learned that it is very difficult to get people's eyes on your product. And I have learned that there, as in all things, is a lot to running a Kickstarter. There is a lot of preparatory work, and there will be a lot of fulfillment work at the end. I think that what I wish I had learned is like how to market better, and what I have learned is I don't know how to market well. I know this is sort of sad,
Fair, yeah.
but I'll figure it out eventually, probably. Maybe.
Probably. Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure you'll have many more in the future. You just kind of learn as you go.
I hope so. Yeah, and people have responded really well to like me running the game and like you running the game. So I have like a good feeling about people running it at their own tables. And so hopefully I'll get like return customers. And my next Kickstarter will start with a little bit more of a boost from people who have, played my games before.
Yeah, it was a blast. And the players at my table who have seen us play the game so far, they are chomping at the bit to get their hands on everything.
So I would say there is a like backer tier on my Kickstarter if you want me to run the game for you. So you've played Out of Time already, but
Yes.
I have offered and in fact if people wanted to put together a table, well, the other one's too long. I would run Out of Time for your friends. They just have to pledge on the backer tier to do it.
Listen, I will get them on it. Trust and believe.
Yeah, you get like a big discount if you do the like full table all at once because it'll make my scheduling easier. Yeah.
I forgot about the book. I'm looking at the Kickstarter right now, and I forgot about the book with the thing.
Yeah.
So for people who maybe haven't seen it, the like ink hand coming out of the book, which, I mean, if you're gonna write a murder mystery, you better make like a cool murder weapon. And the prologue is in a library, so of course it had to be a book, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, the thing that I tell people is like, it's cool if your murder weapon is a dagger through the heart, but it's cooler if it's like
Or
a
candlestick.
rose.
ooh, how would you
Right.
make a rose a murder weapon?
So the reason it's a good murder weapon is because it inspires questions like, how did you do it? Why did you do it? Who would do that? Right? And like, that's what you want from like the first clue, because it's like, what the hell does that mean? Was that the first thing you could think of that would kill somebody? Or like, what's the significance of a rose, right? I don't
My
know.
first thought is Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho.
I mean,
yeah.
honestly, fair. Yeah.
Also,
So look
top
for
tier.
the hot fox, I guess.
Followed by Moonlight Knight. Or Tuxedo Mask, sorry. Does
Incredible.
Moonlight Knight do a white rose? I don't remember. Or does he
Who
even
was
do a
Moonlight
rose?
Knight?
He was the alt form of Tuxedo Mask. Spoilers for something from the 90s. I don't remember why, like, Darian, English name, like, it stopped being for whatever reason. Then Moonlight Knight showed up. Everyone's like, oh, this is the same person. But then, like, Darian, they were in the same room together at one point. So they're like, oh, okay, well, who the fuck is he? But it still ended up being him somehow.
I completely forgot about that.
Can I ask a question?
No. Yes.
Oh, all right.
Go ahead,
No,
Mika.
you can't.
So what do you two think would be the hardest thing about writing a murder mystery?
The clues.
Specifically for D&D 5e.
Ooh.
Or TTRPGs in general, I guess.
I'm just gonna say right now, everything, because I, like, as a writer, mystery stuff, clue stuff, not my thing, not my strong suit. I'm one of those people who often will get frustrated because I will know something, then I'll get frustrated that like the other people aren't figuring it out. And so like I'd be afraid. That's one of my things when I write and I think about doing mystery anything is like, oh, is this gonna be too easy, too hard? How frustrated will I get that people aren't figuring it out? How frustrated will I get if they figure it out too quickly? It's too much for me. It overwhelms my little Latin brain.
On the converse of that, I personally love writing mysteries. It's great. The issue that I think running it and like writing a mystery in 5e, it feels like every player character in 5e is a superhero to some extent, and it feels like they would be able to figure everything out very quickly. And that's the thing that I'm afraid of. I don't want it to. I want there to be like some build up and everything for it, and I don't want it to be like you go to a movie and you figure out the plot within the first 5 minutes of being there.
So, yeah. The thing that I always think of is magic, because like that's one of the things that makes people the most sort of superhero-y in 5e. And so I spend a lot of time thinking about like how do you do a murder that doesn't let people just like revive them or like speak with dead and just automatically solve it, you know? And so like, as I said before, I think just making sure that nobody knows everything that you like put in front of people is like probably the easiest way around that. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know why I chose a murder mystery as my genre for like my first original book, but like I did, and it's very complicated.
It worked. I mean, you succeeded.
Sure, I'm obsessive and stubborn, so it was going to happen regardless. But like, I could have chosen something easier.
Yeah, but where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
Like I'm the person who's like, if I'm gonna play a game, I'm gonna play it on the hardest setting possible, and then if that's too much, then I'll dial it back a little bit.
Same.
Also,
okay. Go ahead.
No. I was about to say, comment section wants to know something too, by the way.
Yeah, I was actually just going to bring up the comment section. Yeah, the first one I'm going to bring up is Chanel saying, you know, I will say I thought I was going to break Lorelahc by being a spirit bard, but Speak with Dead was not game breaking at all for this murder mystery. And it's a fun reason why it's not game breaking that I can't get into because spoilers.
So I could say I can help you there. The way to say it without it being spoilery is the answer to the most obvious questions are not automatic solutions because the victim's answers are based on him having already learned the secret that players need to know to piece everything together. So if you just ask him who the murderer is, he gives you a name that you don't recognize. And that is actually a very important clue. And yeah, so like planning around Speak with Dead is really fun and a little bit tricky sometimes.
Same with Zone of Truth. You just gotta know how to speak around it. One of my favorite examples of that is in Dungeons and Daddies. I forget which season, but like they did Zone of Truth on like the BBEG on Willie. And like, you know, after it took him a second, but you know, the way he responded was like, oh yeah, the way you worded that, that's not a lie. That's vague. Fuck you. Then the second question is, if you were a Sailor Scout, which one would you be?
Excuse me while I Google all the Sailor Scouts.
What do you mean Google?
How do you not know this by heart?
Have you never heard of Google?
Yeah, no, it's a new. What is that? I'm still back in the AOL dial-up times.
Sir, like, are you Sherlock who doesn't know all the planets of the universe? So that's essentially what this is.
Right.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon, Mercury, Mars. Which one is the awkward nerd?
Mercury.
Are there any? Mercury.
Mercury.
Probably
yeah.
that one.
Yeah. Okay, I get you that. Part of the reason why my name on Twitch is Brother Neptune is because of Sailor Neptune. So that's my answer. That's my answer. So
I like Sailor Jupiter because 1, Amazon, goddess. 2, electricity, favorite element. 3, green, favorite color.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Water has words to say. That's all. That's all I would like to say.
Oh, all right.
Water has
all right.
words.
Hold on. Each one gets their own element?
They do?
Yeah.
Wait, have you never seen Sailor Moon?
I like Sailor Pluto.
I think
too.
my responses at this point have made it clear that I've never seen Sailor
I thought it
Moon.
was just one of those things like you haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah,
Oh
dude.
god.
No, it's worse. It's so much worse. I've never seen it.
It's okay. It's fine.
It's
been a
no.
while.
How have you? No. I guess we're gonna end on that note.
No, we cannot end there. We cannot end there. Oh Lord. Yes, so they do get their own magical. They all get powers. Mercury would get like water and ice powers. So
Okay, cool.
okay, all right. So when are you starting the Sailor Moon? Can we do a movie watch then? Can we do a
Yeah,
a community watch day?
yeah, I'm good with this.
Of just
we'll post
all
something
of
in Roll
Sailor
D5.
Moon.
Yeah,
It's like the first 5 episodes. You'll get hooked after
All
that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
yeah. Sailor
I'm
Moon or
down.
Sailor Moon Crystal.
I like my Sailor Moon back when they had the helpful messages at the end. So Sailor Moon. It's like you got to be a good person.
Gosh, did you know that they tried to make an American version,
Yeah,
live
it was
action cartoon? Yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
Terrible.
Incredible.
It's great. Oh god.
Yeah, if you can
American
find
Sailor.
where do they stream the original?
This is so goofy looking. The like American version.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
bad. It is very bad.
Why did they do that?
Crazy enough,
It's
I think
America.
they stream it on YouTube.
It's like a little bit King of the Hill meets Sailor Moon, and it's kind of terrifying.
King of the Hill.
I mean, that's what the art looks like.
Is
Kind of.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ooh, I don't want to leave on that
I'm
side
sorry.
either.
We were riding a high.
Yeah. Yeah. On Roll D5, one of us will post something at some point. Be like, hey, next Friday or something. Or Saturday, whatever. Like, let's have a Sailor Moon watch party and watch the first 5 episodes.
It's just
So if you aren't part of the Roll D5 Discord yet, please do. Sometime in the next few days, I get work. We're just gonna Queon and I will set something up. Make sure Andie can be there specifically.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe
just
we
make
can
it-
hold a
let us
vote
meet.
on whether we should do the American version or the anime.
No, the American version only has like 5 minutes to it anyway.
Yeah, no.
No,
It didn't make it past the pilot.
Incredible.
no. I mean, I do like a good hate watch. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love shitty horror films.
Yeah.
Favorite genre of movie, actually.
Yeah, I love pointing
should-
out what they could have done different to make it either better or worse. I will talk through the entire film. So I warn people, and people are like, "Oh, I watch a movie." I'm like, "Can we watch a shitty horror film?" I warn you, I will talk throughout the whole thing and ask your opinion.
Can't wait.
It's yes. So any final thought or questions from anyone about Lorelahc Manor, about this upcoming .hack project that we don't know more about?
You'll
Give
learn
it-
more in like the next couple of weeks.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm going to keep an eye on Threads
I know.
specifically.
I have to use Threads more.
And I guess I'll try and pay attention on Twitter too. But
I want to make a pitch for something else, actually. So my
okay.
next 5e book is based on an entry I put into Indestructible Boys Game Jam. The title of it, working title right now, is Isle of the Wizard Green. And I'll say that it will include sort of like green slimes raining from the sky and some player options that I'm currently calling the Muckmancer class, where you can be either the gelatinous brute or the slime slinger, which are coded to be sort of like Hulk meets Mr. Fantastic and Spider-Man. So if that sounds interesting to you, follow me on social media and you'll hear me talk about it in the future.
Beautiful.
I'm broken. That sounds amazing. I'm so sorry.
It's gonna be so fun. I mean, just like really leaning into the like, yeah, 5e characters are kind of superheroes. Like, well, let's use superheroes for reference.
Oh my goodness.
It's beautiful. All right. I think that's a good note to leave off on this time. My brain just, so thank you both for being here so much. Go back Lorelahc Manor on Kickstarter. Murders at Lorelahc Manor. Please do. Maybe we should like run this on Just Play or Start Play or whatever, make some additional cash, get people interested just by running the first adventure or something. I think, but also you're probably really busy. But my mind just went blank because I'm thinking about Sailor Moon now. Thank you for bringing up Sailor Moon. So thank you both for being here. Let's do quick outros to say who you are, where we can find you, plug any additional thing you want to plug. We'll start with Queon again.
Hello. I had an amazing time. My name is Queon. I go by Brother Queon across, again, all of the internets. That is BRUTHAQUEON. Today's Friday. Tomorrow, over on Queers and Spears channel, we will be doing our finale episode of our Queer Space Gods, a Thirsty Swords Lesbians. I have to say it slow or it's going to be a tongue twister for me. It does too much. It's going to be so fun. I just found out that I'm a completely different god than I thought I was. I'm confused. I might have killed my mother last episode. Who knows? We don't know yet. But if you want to come out and find out, follow me on Twitter. That's where I'll post all of the good stuff. So thank you.
Andie.
I'm Andie Margolski, Margo Mods Games, everywhere online. If any of this sounds cool to you and you're interested in murder mysteries, please back the Kickstarter. If you want me to run the intro one-shot for you and you missed all the actual plays of people in the space doing it, back at that tier and I'll run it for you, and a group of up to 3 other people. I write D&D murder mysteries and D&D in general, and Candela Obscura stuff, and probably will be writing for Daggerheart when that is available to write for. I have some wild ideas for that, which my little teaser is, we're thinking maybe like a tree with roots in the bottom of the ocean and leaves above through the surface, leaning on some of my like oceanography shenanigans to build a little bit of
Is it a lemon tree?
You know what? You can make it a lemon tree when you run the adventure. I won't stop you.
All right.
I will say that the fruit coming from it is like an important plot piece.
Okay. I don't know if I'll ever run Daggerheart's game. I didn't dislike it the one time I played it. I just wasn't my favorite.
Sure.
I mean, if somebody invited me, I'd do it, but I don't know if I'd ever run it. Before I get to I feel like that was just another downer thing to say. Wow, I'm so bad at it.
Maybe I'll begin Daggerheart, because like I'll at that point have
Yeah. Oh, that was another question I had. Could you run Lorelahc Manor on a system other than 5e, do you think? Would that be an easy enough?
Yeah, I think it would be pretty easy, because there's no clue that you get that requires that you have like a particular spell or something, because that would be mystery breaking. And I would say like the only thing you really have to keep track of is like how do you want to deal with combat, because there is some combat there, but like mostly it's thematic combat where like you get petrified by like hardening ink and stuff like that. Like I think it would be easy to run in other systems, honestly.
Right. I might try that. Anyway, before I get to me, Thank you to GM Justin for running our tech. Ooh. I am Mika. Hi, I do things. I'm the co-creator of the Crit Award nominated channel Roll D5, where we are on right now. Our next stream, our next stream is on Wednesday the 14th at 7 p.m. Central, where we'll be playing Necromancer Flower Shop, a one-page adventure, which I do believe will be run by our very own Andrew. Yes? Why is he... Wow, now I'm unsure. I'm pretty sure it's being run by Andrew. Followed, then the week after that, on the 21st, we've got Stack of Goblins, which will include Nat 20, our very own, and then Flabbergast on the 28th, featuring our very own Sylvia, Shadow Sylvia. Also, Aetherius should be on Stack of Goblins as well. Yeah, you can catch me Mondays playing Ravenloft Misfits over on Talking XP. Next Wednesday, if you don't want to watch Necromancer Flower Shop, then you can watch me over on Lost Caravan playing Lex Arcana, which I'm excited to learn more about tomorrow during our session 0. Or next Thursday, I'll be playing Shipwrecks, a 5e adventure, over on the Don't Kill My Character channel with Kate the Great Cosplays. Or the day after that, the 16th, another 5e adventure, Weirdwell's War over on Entropy Emporium, which is also the day we find out if Roll D5 won an award or not. And also if Justin individually won an award or not. And several more of our friends out there, friends and chosen family out there in the TTRPG universe. It's just very exciting. Like, no matter who wins, like, we all know someone. I know someone in a lot of the categories. Like, I'm just, like, if Roll D5 doesn't win, I know the other channels. They're fantastic. It's exciting. Stop, I'm blushing. Yeah, we'll catch you on Wednesday. Bye, y'all.
Bye.